Hi, this is Shayna from the Entrepreneurs in Motion podcast, and today I want to answer a question from a listener who asked about which membership site plugin or system I use, as well as which payment processor. So when I first started my online business, I used ClickBank as my payment processor. I sell information products that teach English as a second language, and what I liked about ClickBank at the time was, number one, it was easy to set up. So I didn't have to worry about installing SSL, a security certificate, on my own site because ClickBank actually hosts the checkout page for you. And also I liked the fact that the checkout page would automatically translate into different languages and different currencies based on where the visitor was coming from. So that was especially nice for me as a teacher of English since my customers are coming from lots of different countries. I used ClickBank for the first few years of my business, I think the first 2.5 to 3 years, and then I started wanting to get a little bit more sophisticated. So the problems with ClickBank were that, first of all, I had to deliver things as a digital download, and I really wanted to keep people more on the site taking my lessons instead of just having them download them and possibly share those download links. And I also wanted a little bit more control over the checkout page because ClickBank will let you put your logo and your colors, but other than that, there's not much you can do to customize it. So I switched over to using a plugin called MemberMouse. This is a WordPress plugin that basically lets you turn your WordPress site into a membership site, or as I use it, a course delivery site. And what I like about MemberMouse, well, first of all, the reason I chose it, I was looking for something that would enable me to have customers get access only to specific courses that they bought. So if someone bought Business English, I only wanted them to be able to access Business English and not the other course on pronunciation. And at the time, the other membership plugins that I was considering didn't have that ability. Instead, they had levels, and so if someone had access to level 3, then they'd automatically get level 2 and 1. And my courses just weren't structured like that. So MemberMouse was the only one I found that allowed for that type of control of the purchase and access process. Now, MemberMouse does work with ClickBank, and so I started out just hooking up MemberMouse and ClickBank, but later I decided to move over to Stripe, which is a credit card processor, as well as PayPal. So nowadays, when someone goes to my site, they get a choice. So they can either enter their credit card information directly on the site, and of course now I have a security certificate installed to make sure that transaction is secure, or they can choose Pay with PayPal. And it's really smooth, really clean on the payment page. So I modified that checkout page to really be minimalistic and hopefully encourage conversion. I'm glad I'm including the PayPal option because right now about 2/3 of my customers use the credit card directly on site and about 1/3 of them use the PayPal option. And MemberMouse is really seamless. So I've configured it so that after someone pays, or as they pay, they set up their username and password. And immediately after they pay, they automatically get logged right in. They can access their course right away. And then once they've made one transaction, they can do one-click purchases from within their logged in members area. So once they're in to their logged in area, which I set up with MemberMouse, then they see their course that they've bought, but they also see all the other courses that are potentially available. And if they want to buy those, they can actually do it with one click because MemberMouse, working with Stripe, has stored their payment information. So it works really well for me, and I get much fewer emails also about like I can't find the download link or I never got access. It seems to work really, really smoothly. MemberMouse is a monthly subscription product, so it starts at $20 a month for up to 1,000 members, which I think is a good deal. Now, I know some other membership plugins are one-time fees, but I think that the ongoing fee is worth it with MemberMouse because they are really on top of updates. They're constantly updating their plugin, making sure that bugs are fixed and that the functionality is really as good as it can be. And they provide really good support. Every time I've worked with MemberMouse support, which has been seldom because their system works really well, I've had a great experience and they've been very responsive. So I think it's worth it to pay month after month. Now I will say that MemberMouse it's a versatile program, and because of that, it can be a little complex to get it set up yourself. So if you're reasonably tech savvy, like I consider myself to be, I don't code or anything, but I'm pretty good at figuring out how to use programs and, deal with all the different options. If you're reasonably tech savvy, then you will be okay with MemberMouse. Now, if you can't stand tech or it's really not your strong point and you just want to focus on getting your course published and you don't want to be dealing with payment gateways or configuring things that you're just not even sure how to do it and you don't want to deal with it, then I would suggest using a site called Teachable. Now, Teachable is going to be separate from your main WordPress site, but in the same way, you can host various courses there, and it aims to really make the course delivery process as simple to set up for you as the course creator and simple for the person taking the course to check out and get access to it. So it was created by someone who was disappointed with Udemy and wanted to create a platform that gave course creators more freedom, more autonomy, because Udemy has gotten, well, first of all, they've changed their pricing structure a lot. They do a lot of discounts, and also they've gotten very picky about exactly how they want the course videos to be. So it's a little bit of a headache. So Teachable was created to basically make that process a lot simpler, and you can actually start on Teachable for free. The fee, the percentage that they will take is a little bit higher, and then if you want to, you can upgrade to better plan in which the fees are lower, but now you're paying $20 or $25 or whatever dollars per month to use the platform. So those are the two options I recommend. The only thing I would advise you against is just be careful when you're researching potential membership site or course delivery options. Don't get too bogged down in the research, because sometimes it is an important decision because you want to set things up well so that you won't have to change it over later. But sometimes I see people researching this for weeks and weeks on end, and all it's doing is delaying them and their own projects from actually getting launched. So take a day, take a couple of days to do your research. I'd actually encourage you to sign up for some of these services, sign up for Teachable, buy MemberMouse, and just play around with it. Because I've found that sometimes you can only really tell if a certain plugin or system meets your needs by actually working with it instead of just reading the features list. And you can see if it does indeed meet the needs that you have, as well as if it's reasonably easy to work with, if you love it, if you hate it. And if you hate it, you can hopefully get a refund if you request that in a timely manner. And if you love it, then you can keep on using it. But I've done that with a number of WordPress plugins that I want to test and see if they meet my needs. So those are my recommendations. To sum up, use MemberMouse to host your courses on your own website if you are reasonably tech savvy and okay with setting things up yourself. And if you hate technology or just don't get along with it and you just want to get your course up and online as quickly and easily as possible, then use Teachable. All right, so hope that provides some good info for you. Keep the questions coming.